Right now, officers in Jefferson County are warning people to lock their car doors after a string of overnight home burglaries.
And a judge orders a competency evaluation for the Lake Delton man facing a child abduction charge.
Plus, a new study sheds light on the ways Dane County can reduce its inmate population ahead of the new jail construction.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
A string of home burglaries across Jefferson County has police issuing a new reminder to lock your doors, windows, and cars overnight.
One of the victims says tens of thousands of dollars worth of property was stolen while he was sleeping. Rose Schmidt spoke with that homeowner and shares his story.
Yes, Gaston Green says he didn't even know his home had been targeted until he woke up early this morning to a police officer knocking on his door telling him he'd been robbed. He lives near the golf course in Jefferson, where police are investigating at least 3 home burglaries, and 2 more happened in Fort Atkinson. Multiple departments are reporting incidents between midnight and 5 this morning while people were sleeping. In Gaston's case, his car was locked, so he's not sure how the burglars got in. But his brother's car, electronics, cash, wallet, and golf clubs were all stolen from his home. In total, $50,000 worth of property.
It's just scary to think that it can happen here. You know, you would never think it's going to happen to you until it happens. And now, you know, we're going to have to all pay for security systems. You know, I have ADT coming right now, so got to get the house protected now. It's pretty scary to think that it can happen here.
What it comes down to is they're taking advantage of weaknesses in our homeowners' properties. They're identifying cars in a driveway that are unlocked. They're getting garage door openers and opening those garages and then going into the homes.
This is surveillance video taken at one of the crime scenes. Chief Bum says if you leave your car parked in the driveway at night, make sure it's locked and consider bringing your garage door opener inside your home with you. The chief tells me that the same car was seen at multiple crime scenes, so it is likely that these incidents across the county are all connected. If you have any information about these crimes, you are asked to call the Jefferson Police Department. That number will be up on channel3000.com.
Rose, thank you.
Turning now to weather, a little cooler today, but looking like a pretty nice Labor Day weekend. Your first alert forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Yeah, the good news is some of the latest computer models are keeping most of the rain completely away from southern Wisconsin over the weekend. Visible cloud track shows thicker clouds to our south and to our west, but right now southern Wisconsin looking at just partly sunny skies, and on Doppler track a few sprinkles of rain in western Iowa are diminishing before they head in our direction, so it looks like it'll be a while before we see some rain here. The best chances will be tomorrow night. Temperatures are a little cooler than yesterday, upper 60s to the low 70s right now, but with those dew point temperatures in the mid 40s to around 50 degrees, the air is unusually dry for the end of August. So look for temperatures to drop into the lower 50s by early tomorrow morning with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow we'll see variably cloudy skies, a slight chance of an afternoon shower, still on the cool side with a high of 72. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
A $5,000 cash bond has been set for the Lake Delton man facing charges for abducting a child, causing harm to a child, and burglary. 22-year-old James Sellers appeared in court by video today. Police said evidence shows he took a 2-year-old girl from her bedroom and left her outside back in May. The judge ordered Sellers undergo a competency evaluation and said he is not allowed to return to the Deer Run Estate subdivision where the incident happened.
The executive director at a popular Madison after-school program will appear in court on Tuesday. 44-year-old Jacob Tissue of McFarland was arrested on tentative charges of possession of child pornography. The Madison School District told us they are shocked but are working with police in their investigation. Tissue was immediately placed on leave and his profile on the MSCR website has been removed. We'll be providing more information on that story as it becomes available. New at 6, Sun Prairie School officials as well as the Dane County Sheriff's Office confirm an investigation is underway into the activity of some students in the district. Sheriff Dave Mahoney confirms those students are juveniles, but will not elaborate on the nature of the investigation or how many juveniles may be involved. News 3 Now has learned one of those juveniles is a 17-year-old who was in court this afternoon and released on signature bond. We are not identifying him because he has not yet been formally charged with a crime.
The head of Racine-based SC Johnson, the company that makes household products like Windex and scrubbing bubbles, is threatening to sue Oklahoma's Attorney General for using its family company tagline when referring to a different company found to be responsible in part for the opioid epidemic.
I know that this issue pales in comparison to, this crisis that we have across the country with opioid addiction. On the other hand, I feel compelled to stand up for, what this company stands for.
Johnson & Johnson makes pharmaceutical products, and this week was ordered to pay $572 million for downplaying the dangers of opioids. Oklahoma Attorney General Mike Hunter has been publicly criticizing Johnson & Johnson for calling themselves a family company, but that's SC Johnson's tagline. SC Johnson has repeatedly asked Hunter to issue a correction. Hunter's office issued a statement saying, quote, "The reference to Johnson & Johnson as a family company comes from the way it tries to appear to the public. To be abundantly clear, we in no way meant for anyone to confuse SC Johnson with Johnson & Johnson. It is regrettable if someone did."
More local news now. The city of Madison preparing for the grand opening of its newest employment center. The Southwest Madison Employment Center is on McKenna Boulevard near Elver Park in the former Griff's restaurant location. The Urban League of Greater Madison will operate that center, providing on-site job training and skills development, drop-in resume and job search support, plus help enrolling in public assistance programs. There will also be job training classes in partnership with Exact Sciences. The grand opening is Wednesday, September 18th.
The Rock County Sheriff's Office is increasing patrols this Labor Day weekend. According to a release, deputies will be focused on identifying and stopping impaired drivers. The Wisconsin State Patrol's Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over campaign is going on as well. The Labor Day holiday is one of the deadliest times on the road. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 376 people died in traffic crashes during the 2017 holiday weekend. 36% of those crashes involved a drunk driver. As Dane County looks to build a new jail, it's also looking at ways to cut the number of inmates it's housing.
News 3 Now's Amy Reed shows us how the county is trying to do it.
When Dane County opens its new jail here behind the public safety building, they want to have 10% fewer beds than they do now. In order to get there, they had to analyze the criminal justice process from start to finish to find out where those changes could be made.
It's not just flipping a switch and suddenly it's different. This takes all of the players in the system working together.
County Board Chair Sharon Corrigan has seen conversations around a new jail for years. Now the county has settled on a $148 million option. She and the rest of the board want to see it done right.
We needed a path to helping us reduce the jail population in a safe way that keeps our communities safe, but also make sure that we're meeting the targets that we've set.
Earlier this year, they paid for a stress test on the jail's population to see how the county could cut back. Dane County already starting ahead with 75 fewer inmates per 100,000 than the national average. Board Supervisor Yogesh Chavla, who voted no on the new jail in June, said there's still more to do, especially when it comes to racial equity and mental health.
If we can deal with public health issues in a public health context and deal with criminal justice issues in a criminal justice context, I think it strengthens the system not only for the people who are going through it, but for the people who are delivering the services as well.
The stress test was done by the JFA Institute, a research organization that does studies like this for cities all over the country. It suggested Dane County take new approaches, such as reducing sentence length or expediting facility transfers. In the report, it said research shows small reductions in length of stay have little impact on public safety, but a large impact on jail population. Chavla and Corrigan say making these changes will take cooperation from all levels, from policy to implementation on the streets and in the courtroom. But it's work the county is willing to do. While the new Dane County Jail isn't expected to open until 2023 at the earliest, the Dane County Board said these processes to help change the jail population can begin right away. In Madison, Amy Reed, News 3 Now.
There's at least one more study the county would like to do to help form better policy going into the new jail. That is a mental health analysis expected to be out this fall.
Next at 6, as Madison students get ready for the first day of school, their teachers are learning new techniques to protect them. How their back-to-school training has evolved in light of recent mass shootings.
And there's more local news ahead. Monona police say a retail theft from Kohl's has turned out to be part of a national theft ring. How officers caught the Chilean suspects. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
As Florida residents prepare for Hurricane Dorian to make landfall over the weekend, Wisconsin utility workers are preparing to help. On Sunday morning, 27 crew members with bucket trucks, diggers, and other equipment will travel to Kissimmee. Some of those utility workers are from our area: Black Earth, Fenimore, Lake Mills, Mazomanie, and Prairie du Sac. They will work alongside other mutual aid crews and are expected to be deployed for 10 days. New at 6, Governor Tony Evers has signed an executive order authorizing Wisconsin National Guard soldiers to assist in Florida. Hurricane Dorian has reached Category 3 strength today and is expected to reach Category 4 before it makes landfall on the Florida coast.
As students are getting ready to go back to school after Labor Day weekend, teachers have already been very busy getting ready for the new year.
And that includes a new kind of training in light of recent mass shootings. Gabriella Becerra shares how local schools are preparing for a safe year.
All staff members are required to take training courses to learn what to do if something or someone were to threaten the safety of the school and students. That training has changed over the years.
Over the past several years, and in light of mass shootings happening at schools across the country, local schools have adjusted their safety procedures.
We can put 1 million door locks and 1 million cameras, but human action is what is most critical. So what we do as humans is what is key in an emergency.
Madison Metropolitan School District is using the standard response protocol, which explains what staff and students should do in an emergency.
Every single building-based staff person, secretaries, custodians, food service, teachers, principals, are now trained and have this common language.
Middleton Cross Plains Area School District is also preparing teachers to be able to make a call to protect students in any situation.
It's more than just locking down. You're right. The reality is we want our staff and students to feel like that they can leave a scene rather than staying in a room if that's the appropriate choice to make.
But spokesperson Perry Hibner says it's also important to make students feel comfortable in the classroom.
Our goal is to try to make people feel as comfortable as possible about these things and be prepared, but at the same time we also don't want to make them so anxious that they're constantly worrying about it, because I mean the reality is that we want to make our schools as safe but also as inviting as possible.
District officials say training at the beginning of the year isn't enough, so they also practice this throughout the year. In Middleton, Gabriella Becerra, News 3 Now.
The Madison School District says it will be keeping parents up to date throughout the year on what security measures are being taken to keep their children safe at school. Coming up in sports, it's week 2 of the high school football season. Jay Wilson live from Middleton, taking on Verona. It's our Prep Mania Game of the Week.
And a bit cooler for the Labor Day weekend and only a slight chance for showers. Gary will have your first alert forecast next.
Well, instead of fireworks this Labor Day holiday weekend, you can catch an all-natural light show.
The aurora borealis may be visible in several northern states, including here in Wisconsin. It is a fairly common sight in Alaska and close to the poles, but isn't as common in the lower 48 states. According to NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center, this weekend's northern lights are occurring due to geomagnetic storm activity on the sun. Our best chances of seeing them are Sunday night.
And of course, that's also always dependent on what our cloud cover looks like. Gary's watching our weather and watching what's happening down with Hurricane Dorian as well. Gary?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to have cloud cover for tomorrow night that would prevent us from seeing the northern lights. Sunday would be the better day, and also probably a little better chance from a space weather standpoint. But Dorian is the big story. There's visible cloud track. You can see Dorian with a very well-defined eye as we get close to sunset. Latest information from the National Hurricane Center has it as a powerful Category 3 hurricane, and the forecast track from the National Hurricane Center brings it through the northern Bahamas as a Category 4 hurricane, brings it to near the west coast or the east coast of Florida, and then slows it down and moves it right along the coast. So it'll maintain its intensity, move slowly, bringing heavy amounts of rain, a lot of wind along the coast too. The storm really bears some watching, and all the longer range computer models are in agreement that it will make that turn, go along the coast, and then maybe hug toward the coast toward the Carolinas before moving back out in the Atlantic Ocean. So the whole southeastern part of the country keeping an eye on that. Badgers are also keeping an eye on the weather. They're supposed to start at 6 o'clock, but they've been in a weather delay because of thunderstorms over the Tampa area. The Raymond James Stadium, right about where it says Tampa, right in the middle of your screen there. So you can see the thunderstorms now moving offshore, and hopefully that will allow them to get the game restarted. Closer to home, a few sprinkles of rain out in western Iowa, and that's pretty much about it. Live view from the WISC Skycam showing partly sunny skies here as we check out the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Lots of sunshine over the capital this evening. As we check out the almanac for today, our high temperature a little cooler than yesterday at 73, low temperature 51, and right now we're at 71 degrees. Skies are partly sunny, the air is calm. Dew point temperature in the upper 40s, meaning the air is pretty dry, and that will allow us to cool off into the lower 50s tonight, just like last night, whereas northern parts of the state were generally in the lower 40s, and a few places hit the upper 30s, but Rhinelander is at 41, Superior 40 for the overnight low temperature. Current temperatures are in the 60s for about the northeastern half of the state and lower 70s away from Lake Michigan and through southwestern Wisconsin. Dew point temperatures, though, are very low. The air is very dry, so again, that will lead to cool nights over the next couple of nights. Weather track shows the main weather track system down to the south. That's where the jet stream is. You can see Florida, some showers and thunderstorms there. Much of the rest of the country, pretty quiet. And a lot of times, as a big, powerful tropical cyclone like Dorian approaches the United States, it causes high pressure to form out ahead of it, and it slows down the progression of weather systems and makes things a little more tranquil. And that might be the case here toward the end of next week as Dorian moves up the east coast. Cold front that came through yesterday, now down near the Ohio River. South of the front, temperatures are still in the 80s, but north of the front, 60s and 70s for the most part, with dew points in the 40s and 50s. So they are very comfortable for the end of August. Look for skies to be partly cloudy overnight, seasonably cool weather, low temperature at 52. Tomorrow, look for a high temperature of 72 degrees. It'll be variably cloudy, just an outside chance of a shower in the afternoon, but the computer models have really backed off on the rain chances. See some clouds moving in overnight, low temperatures in the lower 50s. Highs tomorrow in the lower 70s, maybe some breaks in the clouds through much of the day. You can see the rain chances staying mainly to the south of us now later on tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, we're back to partly sunny skies later in the day with highs in the mid-70s. Rainfall amounts expected to be just less than 1/10 of an inch in most areas. South of the Illinois state line, that's where the heavier rains will be. Otherwise, we'll be up around 80 for Labor Day Monday and 82 on Tuesday. Temperatures cool off for the middle of next week and then stay cool for the following weekend with highs in the upper 60s.
Up next, the Badgers had to hurry up and wait to kick off the regular season in Tampa, and we shift to week 2, Prep Mania Game of the Week. It's the Big 8 Conference. Stick around. Week 2 of the high school football season kicks off at the top of the hour. Tonight's Prep Mania Game of the Week features two teams that cruised to wins in Week 1, but shouldn't expect much, if any, cruising tonight in Week 2. Jay Wilson quarterbacks our coverage live from Middleton as the Cardinals host the Verona Wildcats. Good evening, Jay.
Hi, Kevin. Good evening, everyone. Well, not only did both of these teams win last week, they're expected to be big contenders for a Big 8 Conference Championship. And we welcome back Bill Brophy and Alan Minert to join me for the broadcast tonight on channel3000.com. Brophy, we're going to see two of the best running backs, probably not only in southern Wisconsin, but in the state.
Yeah, it's early, but this is a big matchup with some marquee players. Jackson Akers already committed to the university, even though he's only a junior. He's coming off a big sophomore year. He runs behind a big offensive line, which has two D1 commits already. They're highly recruited, and they've got a lot of offensive weapons, including quarterback Adam Becks, who can throw the ball to some skilled guys. So Verona can put up points. So can Middleton. They put up 41 a week ago. Callian Buckner was the leading rusher in the Big 8 a year ago, over 1,100 yards. He's back, and that line could play in the WIAC that he runs behind. They average 6'3", 240. So expect a lot of points tonight. And big night from a couple premier running backs.
Last week, Alan, when we had Wanakee and Monona Grove, they were in different conferences, but this is a conference game, but again, with ramifications that could go into November.
Absolutely. These are two of the top 4 teams of the early season favorites. And so the winner of this game kind of puts himself in the driver's seat. I really don't think anybody in the Big 8 will go undefeated, but the winner of this game will beg to differ.
Yeah, they got a shot at least. Want to also remind you, we have 3 other games streaming on channel3000.com tonight. Beaver Dam at Oregon, Wanakee at Stoughton, and Reedsburg at Monona Grove, in addition to our game, which is Verona at Middleton. So a big night of high school football coming up. Turn on your computer and join us on channel3000.com, 7 o'clock. Kevin, back to you.
Quadruple threat. Jay, thank you very much. We'll see you later on tonight. Well, the 2019 Wisconsin football season is supposed to get underway in Tampa, Florida tonight. So the Badgers and South Florida Bulls at a muggy, rainy Raymond James Stadium. How about a weather delay? Yeah, kickoff pushed back to 6:55, we hope. All the tweets and video show many storm clouds and much lightning. Just the second ever meeting between the schools. Bucky beat the Bulls at Camp Randall 5 years ago. Full highlights, we hope, time permitting, at 10 tonight. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur very happy that all 4 preseason games and the first regular season game are on consecutive Thursdays because they don't have to mess around too much with the preparation schedule. There's still work to do as the team has to cut the final roster down to 53 by tomorrow afternoon. So it was a case of multitasking, getting ready to take on the Bears next week and figuring out who's sticking around to help that cause.
We did get a little bit of a jump on the Bears while still preparing the guys that were going out to play against Kansas City. And I thought, our staff did an excellent job of getting the guys ready to play. And I thought the older vets that weren't playing in the game did a great job of supporting their teammates.
Brewers have to start winning, and that did not start today at Wrigley Field. Nicholas Castellanos has been a monster since coming to the Cubs. Bottom of the first, taking Chase Anderson out, making it 2-0 Cubs. Bottom of the second, Castellanos again. Farther this time. His 22nd of the year, Cubs win 7-1. The Brewers fall to 5 games back in the National League wildcard race for that second wildcard spot. But 4 games tonight on channel3000.com, and the Badgers getting underway.
We hope.
Brewers fans might say, well,
so
football season. Yeah.
You were looking at that forecast. What's going on?
Yeah, most of the thunderstorm activity is moving. It's actually moving from east to west, as is usually the case in Florida. Around here, just a few sprinkles of rain well out to the west in Iowa that won't affect us. But down in Tampa, I think that they should be able to get the game underway before too long. Otherwise, things pretty quiet around here. Not expecting any rain tonight, and we may miss out on most of the rain this weekend, which is good for a holiday weekend. 71, the current temperature in Madison. Upper 60s to our east, lower 70s to the west. Dew point temperatures are low, so it'll be a cool night, but highs lower 70s tomorrow, mid 70s Sunday, and 80 for Labor Day Monday. Temperatures a little cooler for much of next week.
Gary, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.